Alright, so we're at North Myrtle Beach Drag Strip. Clifton Caldwell is doing a race this weekend, and there's a ton of cars. There's like 43 cars in small tire. This track's been closed for I think 3 or 4 years now. It's awesome. They're bringing it back to life. This place flooded, and they kind of just shut it down. And it hasn't been raced since it flooded real bad like 3 or 4 years ago. So the right lane is definitely a lot slower than the left lane. For whatever reason, it was scraped. The left lane wasn't scraped until this morning, and they kind of rushed it, and it's not scraped as well. So there's a big difference in the lanes, which there's nothing really we can do about. We're gonna make the best of it. Hopefully it's not a coin flip race. Hopefully it comes around, but I'm afraid it might be. So luckily, first round we both got the good lanes. Hopefully we can stay in it, and we're just trying to have some fun. We're here like 10 minutes from the beach. We're gonna have some fun and go out to the beach tomorrow. We're gonna have some fun, hopefully go some rounds and make some good content.
Very good, buddy. Very good.
Hey, you want to get ready first or second? Need nitrous, so it don't really matter.
Don't matter.
Second.
All right, second. All right. You'll be on the line, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Try and remember to pull the chute, okay?
That scared the hell out of me.
push me back.
Nothing leaking. Is it leaking? There's nothing leaking. No leaking. What it is? Hot. No problem. Torque converter bolt.
Darn it.
I feel terrible.
Poor guy.
Colorado.
You like that? You like that?
Was that mean or was that? It actually don't look bad.
No.
So we're going on the third round. Second round, we had a minor transmission fluid leak again, but we got it fixed. Car kind of launched left a little bit. I guess it, I don't know, it didn't make a very straight pass, but it still went a decent number for driving like 700 feet. We're going in the third round, and I've got the white Mustang called Holy Ghost. He's probably the fastest car here from what I've seen. I think it's a nitrous car. He 60 foots really hard. So we're turning it up and we're going to tie it down. And the 60 foot should hold anything. The sun's down now, so we're going to tie it down and throw the beans to it. Hopefully it takes it.
That was wild.
My heart can't handle it.
That's close, bro. Got somebody watching live. Get down underneath there. You gotta plug this in. I can't get underneath there. There's a fuse holder down there. You see it? It's
Yeah.
orange and black.
Yeah.
Plug both ends of that into that fuse holder.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
You good? You good, man? Hey, you good? You set? Good, Nick?
Thank you.
How long you got? You good?
Yeah. Get it?
Yeah.
All right, fire it up.
Falcon got it done, boy. Woo! Nice driving, buddy. Dude, I grabbed the scramble probably just at the shift, and he got out on me.
He was out on you by like not a car. No, I watched the video from the stands. He was out on you by a foot.
Oh, he was?
2 feet.
Okay. Well, it looked like he's just, I
Got
don't know.
in the dust in the middle. Almost ran into the back of you.
He did?
Yeah, he crossed behind you.
Holy shit. It's a good thing I passed him. I grabbed the scramble and I was just like, it was nuts.
Took it?
No, I mean, it was all over it wasn't spinning, but the bumps are so bad when you know, and if you don't get a straight shot at it, it just makes it worse. But
See when it went. Jack it up. We got a flat slick. You don't even have the same bolt pattern.
to swap the tires.
That's what I'm doing. I want to put a tube in this tire out of my S10. Box bodies all have them.
Just put the steering the other one's off. I don't know. We'll know till we get that off. There's a fix. Yeah, you gotta disconnect kind of roll wash it.
We got a valve core out.
You got your tool? Valve set tool?
I would wait to have one here.
Hey, he was the first one I knew that was. Hey, these motherfuckers were out there 140, 60 foot car down at 3,800 pounds. Roll it in there now. Oh, you gotta let the air out.
Does that have a tube in it?
No. So you have to drive it.
You put more air in it.
They might call it. Some other two down there trying to chop it up right now.
I called Grandma yesterday.
And it doesn't help with the
Miracle.
body lines.
So they just called it.
So, see, they were getting 29 apiece. looked like a boob. Billy had to get on it.
All right, so here we are back home. Kind of didn't film anything after it started raining. The race got canceled, and we were down to 3 cars, and they decided to split the money. Popped a tube on the Falcon, and we were trying to get it fixed. We had a spare tube in the trailer, and I was trying to get the tire off, which getting the wheels and tires on and off the Falcon is a struggle. But at the track in the grass using 2 floor jacks,
Very sketch.
very sketchy, and you know, we had to disconnect the anti-roll bar, and I would have had to reset that, and there was a lot of things. Like, this guy was initially going to bring us some tires that were already on wheels, and they were 6.5 backspace, which is what I thought we needed. And about the time he got to us with the spare wheel and tire he had, which would have saved us about 45 minutes of me getting the old tube out of the tire that was on the car and putting the new one in. Rather than doing that, he brought us a tire already on a Race Star wheel with 6.5 backspace. So I'm not sure what his name was. I can't remember. Maybe Dad does, but thank you so much. We really appreciate that. So it started raining about the time we were about to swap that other tire onto the car, and they canceled it right then and there. It was pouring.
I hate to interrupt, but I know you know it's going to get brought up, but I think we were going to get that wheel on. I think we were going to beat, I think we were going to have the car ready in time. We were definitely rushing, but I think we could have made it. But since we had that wheel,
we were just about to put the wheel on that the other guy gave us. Now, it didn't have a tube in it.
It was going to be sketchy. That's for sure.
It was going to be a little bit sketchy, running one side with a tube and one side not with a tube. I'm not sure how that would have worked out. Or it's hard to say. But nevertheless, it started raining and it got canceled. And so Clifton comes to the trailer, grabs you, and says, "We need to go talk." And you guys went to Bad Apple's trailer.
Yeah.
What happened over there?
Well, so first of all, this rain came absolutely out of nowhere. When we got that wheel,
There was nothing on the radar.
There was nothing on the radar except for this one tiny blip. And so curfew's at midnight. It's about 11 o'clock. And so we're already getting pressed for time. They hadn't even finished the streetcar class yet.
They're rushing us for sure.
They were trying to rush us. And I actually
no one knew that we had a flat tire, and we were hustling, man. I was pissed. Like, we were racing for $17,000,
And we had a car that we knew,
and we knew the car could win, and it was just heartbreaking, honestly. Having something as stupid as a flat tire, and the tube had a slit in it about that long, and not even very deep, and it would hold air as long as the tube didn't have any weight on it. Just the stupidest thing.
the way I felt was like, and you guys will see this from the video, but I was driving, so like, you guys always watch that Falcon. I mean, it just makes straight as an arrow passes A to B all the time. And like, even Allison was like, man, you're like really scaring me today. And my dad was telling me I need to be careful. And, you know, Billy was telling me to be careful. That track is pretty sketch. Like, it's a fast track. I mean, you can go
It's fast for 300 feet.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just gets really bumpy.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot to get a hold of down track. And I think there's a lot of sand on that track that if you get out of the groove even just a little bit, which you've seen with a lot of the other cars that you raced, they get off the groove and it's like a dust cloud.
Yeah.
It was tricky up top, and if you got out of the groove even just a little bit, you were going for a ride.
What we were really trying to do was throw everything we could at it for 330 feet, and then after that transition, you just got to try and go as straight as possible, because there's nothing you can do about the bumps. It's going to spin, and it grabs, and then it hooks, and then you hit another bump, and it starts spinning, and it unloads, and it's constantly unloading and reloading the suspension. And all you can do is get to the bumps as fast as you can.
And it's something that Chief taught me.
Yeah.
Chief, you know, I asked Chief, I said, you know, when we went to War in the Woods the last time, I said, what's the best way to deal with those bumps? And he said, get to them quicker. And it makes sense, you know, because the faster you get to the bumps and the faster you get over them, the more momentum you have, and you're not trying to apply as much power, you know, during those bumps or after them. So you have more momentum as you go over them, and they don't affect the car as bad. So basically our strategy was to 330 as hard as possible, but run the least amount of mile an hour. That way we could make a nice, clean, straight pass. And we did that. On the last pass you made, it was extremely fast, and it still had really good mile an hour. It was only on 26 or 7 pounds out the back, which we usually run 30, 32. Still had nice, good mile an hour. The air was a little humid there, but the sea level was very low. We were about 60 feet above sea level. So the car was making good power, and we felt like we had the car to beat that night.
What I was saying though is, like, everybody, I was even sketching myself out, driving, I wouldn't say out of my means, but definitely on the limit, putting the car to its limit. Like Allison, when she's filming, she's like, I hate seeing the side of that car. She's like, I never have to see the side of that car. But I was literally looking, you know, at both. I was using all of my lanes, some passes, and it was just really sketchy. And so
we're doing a good job driving the wheels off that car, and sometimes you have to find the limit of what you and what your car is capable of. That way you know next time how far you can push it. That's something that just comes with a lot of laps and a lot of time and experience, and it's something you have to ease into. You can't just go out there on a fresh car with 10 passes and think you know the limit of the car. You have to ease into it and figure it out over time, and I think you've done that really well.
I was driving back from after I beat the Nerd's old car. I think it was like 4th or 5th round. We're down to 3 cars, and I just packed my chute. Everything was fine. I start driving back, and halfway back the car's like this and the steering wheel's like this, and I'm driving straight. I'm like, this thing's got a torn tube or something again. And sure enough, I get out, tube's torn, and I felt like I had already felt like right then and there I'd lost. Like, I was like, it takes at least 45 minutes to get to get the wheels off the car and swap them and do everything. Like
I wasn't ready to give up though.
That's what
you
I'm
were
getting at.
defeated when you got back to the trailer, and I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing standing around?
You said, you know, what you said, you were like,
I could have drawn the buy.
Yeah.
And that would have gave us an hour at least.
Thank you.
I didn't even know we had a spare tube. I was just going to pull the tube out of the tire and run it without the tube on one side. And then while I was doing that, I told Dad, I said, this thing has 15 by 10s with 6.5 backspace. I said, it's a very common Mustang wheel. He went and found that gentleman that had the wheel, and by the time I was getting the wheel and tire off, he rolled the new one up, and I wouldn't have even had to change the tube, so or take it out. I just had a fresh wheel right there ready to go.
And so right when he was ready to put the new wheel on and we were getting ready to test fit it and make sure it was going to work, it starts raining. And at that point, Allison had told me that we did not draw the buy, and I got pretty emotional. I was really mad. I was like, I felt like I had wasted. I risked so much driving like that and putting so much on the line, and I just felt like for something like that to happen, we worked so hard. We're 10 hours away from home. All these thoughts are running through my head, and I'm like, I don't think we're going to make the next round. I needed that buy run, you know? So when Allison got back and she told me that, I was practically throwing wrenches. I was pissed. It was like I just wasted all that energy doing all that, and I risked my life for like nothing driving like that. So, but literally 30 seconds later, it starts raining out of nowhere, and
it's funny because Mom texted Grandma, and she said, "Pray for rain."
Yeah.
There was nothing on the radar, and all of a sudden it started pouring. It was the weirdest shit ever, and we've got the little screenshot of
the weather app,
and you can see just there was nothing, and then there was just a red dot
right over our head,
just about the size of the track. I mean, it was maybe a square mile,
and I mean it poured. It was a red
it just
dot.
hung there for like 5 minutes.
And that's all we needed for us to hit curfew. That was like,
if it hadn't have rained, we wouldn't have made the round. We probably wouldn't have made the round. If we did make it, we probably would have crashed the car because we were rushing and we wouldn't have had time to set up the anti-roll bar properly. We were in the right lane on one tire with no tube. Something bad probably would have happened. So
yeah. But we were so ready to just risk it because we knew we had a car that could win.
It was $17,000 to win.
And that's what's so scary about these big pot races is it puts you in that, everybody is driving like no tomorrow.
You definitely see a lot more wrecks when there's a bigger pot like that.
You know, that white Mustang almost hit me. So all that stuff was running through my head. Like I just risked so much, and for something like that to happen, it was nightmare fuel. So
Clifton comes up.
Yeah. So at this point, I figured Clifton's on his way with my portion of the money. Like there's 3 people left, so 33, 33, 33. I feel
Should
like
have been $5,666 each.
Yeah, and I thought he was on his way to bring me my portion. Like that's the only way I saw this situation. Like I didn't even know there was another outcome. Like I was so mind boggled. But he comes up and he says, "Yeah, we're gonna have a little meeting with just the 3 drivers about the split." And he's like, "I think 33, 33, 33 is cool, but you know, I just want to talk it over first with everybody." I'm like, "All right, I mean, whatever." So we drive over to the Bad Apple. It's that dark green with light green stripes, that Nova. We go over there. The dude with the blower car, he's there, and he's like, "Man, I don't care what happens." It's like, I'm on nobody's side. So
He wasn't standing up for himself.
No, he totally folded. Like he was ready to walk out with like $5,000, or
Not $5,000. He was ready to walk out with the Bad Apple was wanting 50%, and then the rest of you get 25%.
he said that was the first thing.
17,000 times 0.25. He would have got $4,250.
and the other dude's walking out with like $8,500 or something crazy. I don't know. I'm not good at
Like
that, but
double what he got.
just because he drew the buy. So I walk up and, you know, Clifton flat out said, I think this is the way to do it, 33, 33, 33, but I figured I'll let you guys do it.
No, if you're a promoter, you have to say how it's gonna be. You don't let the racers make the decisions.
If you think
that's
something
the point
is
of
right,
having a race master.
right?
You're supposed to lay down the rules and the fucking law, and that's how it's gonna be. That's why Limpy is the best at what he does, because he doesn't take shit from anybody and he doesn't let anybody push him around.
So you know, he says, I think I should get 50% and you guys get 25, and we go home.
He's from either North or South Carolina. He didn't have to travel 10 hours to be there. And I've never seen that guy anywhere but in the Carolinas, honestly.
Yeah. So my argument was just initially, like, I thought it was just bad sportsmanship. Some people, everybody has their own opinions. I don't really care what your opinion is.
His thinking was, since he drew the bye, he was guaranteed to be in the finals. But that's not the case, because just because you draw a bye run doesn't mean you're going to make it to the starting line for the finals. He could have made his bypass, or he could have just broken the beams. Either way, something can happen to the car. It might not start. It might blow a fuse, like what we had with the Falcon. It might pop a tire, like what we had. There's so many different things that can happen. I don't care if you got the bye or not. If you get a bye and the other guy that wins, whether it's you or the blower car, and you have to go to the finals, he might not be able to make it to the damn starting line.
Exactly.
And he won't get any money.
Yeah. So
saying that just because you got a bye doesn't mean that you automatically get 50% of the money when there's 3 drivers left. You all went the same amount of rounds. You all worked, you all won the same amount of races.
Right. That was exactly what my argument was. I told him, I was like, we've all went the same amount of rounds. Nobody's won more than any other person. I mean, yeah, you might have drew the bye, so yeah, you're obviously going to get to the final if that happened. But he didn't get a chance to break the beams, and there's missing context there, because I asked Clifton, I said, did they have to break the beams? And he acted like it wasn't really, that was never talked about in the driver's meeting. First of all, I mean, it's not something common to even talk about, but I think now it will be. But he said, no, I guess, you don't have to make the pass, which
you always have to break the beams on a bye run. I don't care.
That should be the rule. Yeah, everywhere we've ever raced, that's usually the rule. So.
Unless you're on the street and you're trying to, get shit done on the street in a limited amount of time, or something like that, I can understand that. You don't have to line up on the street and break the imaginary beam.
Right.
But at any time you're at a racetrack and you get a bye run, you always have to break the beams. I've been racing since I was 9 years old. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. I'm a 21-year-old kid. I just turned 21, and I'm
surrounded by like 50.
Sitting here with like 50 fucking adults arguing over something that is so stupid. Like, if I drew the bye, be no question. I mean, it's just even split. Like, not a thought in my mind that would be even split. I couldn't believe that I was arguing with grown-ass adults about the split. Like, it was so ridiculous to me.
I rolled up, and because Dad called me and he said, hey, you better get over here. And at the time I was putting a tube in your tire that I had found, the spare. And he said, you better get over here. They're arguing and screaming and they're about to fight. And
I didn't scream at nobody. It was pretty civil, but by the end of it all, I told him that his Nova is on my fucking list.
You don't need to be talking to me. Because he told me to be in here. Why are you still talking to me?
You name it. Yep. Okay. We'll do 557, but that fucking car's on my list. Oh wait, David. David Porter. You good with that? You good with that? Oh my God. 557. Yeah, I'm good with that. Hey.
And the next time that we're on the same property with the Falcon and that Nova, he's got my ass off the trailer. So he knows that. And first of all, the guy I was arguing with, they're a race team, right?
Yeah.
The guy I was arguing with is a guy that probably owns the car or whatever. The driver has like no say in it. He's just paid to drive the car. He doesn't even get a part of
He's
the
just a
windows.
jockey.
Exactly. So I felt that was another weird thing, is I'm just arguing with this fucking dude that it's whatever. But you know, afterwards I talked to the dude that drives the car, and I super respectful. I was like, hey man, just so you know,
Yeah, he was nice when I walked up.
yeah, he was, and then he gets on Facebook and he starts shit talking after I had made my post. I just wanted to see what I thought I was crazy. Like I was like, am I fucking crazy? Like, should we not be splitting 33, 33, 33?
Yeah, when I came up, y'all were flipping a coin to get the plaque, and I didn't know what y'all were flipping the coin for.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see it. Let me check that out.
Yeah, this just went flag. Yeah, we already split.
We didn't split 30, 30, 30. Dude in the fucking Nova, he's crying about it, so that's what it is. I told him he's on my fucking list.
So the way, Billy, it was 17.7. The way that everybody agreed on it was 5,000, 5,000, and 7,700.
Because he drew the buy.
Yeah, that's what they all agreed on. So we didn't run that
Right,
round.
the race center. Everybody went the same amount of rounds to end up where we are, but he's getting more money.
Me and him want to split.
He was already guaranteed.
Me and Tommy.
Guaranteed to the final.
I don't know. All right. For the flag.
And I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know what was going on.
And I knew you were gonna be mad at me because I always let people fucking take way too much splitting, or I let people walk all over me, and I've been trying to not.
They
keep
take
that.
advantage of you because they know you're young.
I know, and I've been trying to stop that from happening, and I really did try this time, but I felt so awkward. It had been like 15, 20 minutes, and this dude is starting to tell me I'm a crybaby and shit, and I'm just like, fine, you know what? Clifton made the idea, $7 grand, $5 grand, $5 grand. It was like 5,600, I don't know. I think it was about $5 grand I won. And
So you and the other guy basically got fucked out of $666.
yeah, and okay, it's $600, but it was more to me about,
That's our fuel there and back.
we have a 10-hour drive. That's our fuel there and back, and it was more to me. It was more about not getting walked over for the first time.
But it's not so much that we didn't get the $666. It's
that
that
he got so much
someone
more.
else got he wanted to get double what we earned for
Yeah.
going the same amount of rounds.
Exactly.
Just because he drew a fucking buy run.
Yeah. So that pretty much, everything was a decent weekend, but the last hour of our night was pretty bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough that it rained and I split and I even got money at all. But we all, at that moment, we all went the same amount of rounds. We all won the same amount of races. Nobody won more than any other person. We all won equally, so we should all be paid equally. That's the way I saw it. But I understand if you think otherwise. Like, I get it.
I wish some of
see
these
the other
cars
side,
from the
but-
Carolinas would come up here and race. When do you ever see them leave their state? Never.
Focus.
So, race is over. We went back to the hotel, got some cookout.
Yep.
We hardly ever get to get cookout.
Cookout's
We
the
went
shit.
to Myrtle Beach and got cookout at like 3 in the morning. It was pretty good.
Running like on 5 hours of sleep both nights.
Yeah, and we didn't get to the track until 4 or 5 in the morning the first night, and we only got we had to be there at 11, so
Yeah.
we only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep first night, so we were drained
Yeah.
after all that hard work trying to get ready for the finals or semifinals, and then everything else. It was just a draining experience, and we went to the beach the next day with Mom, Dad, Addie, and her family. It was a great time. Mom and Dad actually got in the water. I think that's the first time I've ever seen my dad in any body of water, which was cool, and he enjoyed it, so I was glad about that. The water was warm, it was awesome.
That was a core family memory made.
Yeah,
We haven't had in a long time. We haven't had anything like that for us to do, like where we can all hang out and enjoy ourselves. Usually, like, we're in a rush to get home from a race and
always stressing.
always stressing. We don't really get to to sightsee or vacation or spend some, like, yeah, we get to travel and do all this stuff, but we usually don't get to enjoy ourselves ever. So it was nice to take a break for a minute and chill out and make some memories and have a good time.
Did we go over what happened to my truck?
No, we did not. I don't even know if we did it during the race.
So first round I had patches, and I had been watching all the passes from first round. I thought I could put in a pretty good 60 foot. And I left at 8 or 9 pounds of boost, quite a bit with a 410 gear on a 28-inch tire. It would have been pretty fast to the 60 foot. And came up on boost, bumped in, BJ runs back, hits the light. I let go of the button, and it plants the tire and just zings up immediately. And I thought, my initial thought was that it broke the input shaft or the drive shaft. And I opened the door and I said, push me back, because I figured it was leaking fluid everywhere. And I heard Dad say, well, it's not leaking. So I was like, okay, that's strange, but good. So we got pushed back, and we're getting pushed back, and Dad, once we pushed me back, he noticed there was a converter tab laying on the starting line, and it had broke the welds off of all 3 of the tabs that are welded to the converter that bolt to the flex plate. So my theory is, this is a new converter. It's only got 8 passes. This is the one that we were going to put in Tommy's truck. And we were having issues with the bolts loosening up, but 3 passes before that, I tightened the shit out of them, had Loctite on them, lock washers, everything. So there was nothing more that I could do to make sure that those converter bolts weren't going to loosen up. Yeah.
It really sucked. I felt terrible for Billy,
and I think I would have won that round because Patches didn't make a very good pass.
No.
He was fresh off wrecking his car a couple weeks back, and I think he's still got some things he's trying to iron out from the wreck.
But yeah, I think you would have had him. Have you ever raced Patches?
Yeah. I raced him at Dig or Die. He's beat me before.
Yeah, so we really
that car on a back end surface is hard to beat. But I think on a front side, his advantage goes away significantly. Well, that about covers everything. You got quite a bit of editing to do.
Yeah.
So
coming up this week, we'll be filming, putting in the converter. Billy's got some heads to put on his Mustang, and
heads and a camshaft from Trick Flow.
So
going on the Mustang.
Stuff's getting serious,
Stuff's getting serious. I'm trying to narrow the gap between me and the Malibu, and hopefully stretch that gap over to my side a little bit. So we're gonna be putting heads and a cam in the Mustang. It needs it so badly. And I know everybody's saying just put an LS in it, put a small block Chevy in it, put anything but that 302 in it. But listen, that 302 is a champ because it is completely stock, other than it has a number cam and it has Explorer GT40 heads. It maybe makes like 280 horsepower, and it's not very far from the Malibu, which is a built 355 with aftermarket heads and a big camshaft.
But he's got AC. He's got AC.
It's heavier, but it's automatic.
AC, dude. He's got air conditioning.
My point is, there's a lot I can do to that 302. It's not even funny.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. All in all, it was an okay weekend, I guess. We still got some money, so that's always good. So,
but it was a good weekend because we didn't crash. We came home with a little bit of money. Got to go to the ocean, and that was about it. But pretty good.
Pretty good. So now I'm gonna go edit this. I'm gonna have to crop 50 minutes of this probably, but it's fine.
If you guys are watching this, go to the website, get some merch. We're gonna have some new designs coming out soon and stuff like that. Also, we're going to pick the winner of the fuel cell giveaway that I'm doing. We're picking the winner of the fuel cell giveaway tomorrow as well. So somebody's gonna win the fuel cell, and we will announce that on our next video.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time.